Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Well, day late and a dollar short, as always. But I did not want to go into tonight's big, I guess, another season premiere is upon us for Monday Night Raw, and not talk about some of the stuff that happened this weekend. Initially, Extreme Rules. I wanted to jump on this the night of, but I was over at a friend's house, and we're sitting around the fire, and he was grilling out. Before you know it, it's like halfway through the pay-per-view, and I'm like, well, I'll get home when I get home. I'll watch it whenever. Probably break it up. And sure enough, I ended up watching when I got home Saturday night. I watched it from the Killer Kross McIntyre match on through to the end. And then what's funny is, so I missed the first two matches, but I'll talk about everything because I went back the next day and watched what I missed. So I'm watching everything from Kross McIntyre on to the end. I get up to what is close to the end of the fight pit match with Riddle and Rollins, and it just cut off. And I was like, what the hell? So I don't know if one of those things where it only lets you have the live feed for so long and then it cuts it, X amount of minutes, hours afterwards, and then sets up the replay to watch. So it cut me off. I had to go out of because I couldn't just exit out of the playing and go back in. It wouldn't let me. Good old Peacock app. But it's understandable. Other stuff does that when you're watching the, wrestling event live, and then you got to wait for the replay to kick in to catch what you missed. I've seen it on anything. So, wait 5 minutes, go back, okay, rewatch part of the fight pit match, and then on to the end. Because I'm like, it was good enough. I'm not going to say it was like show of the year. I think Bound for Glory was still better. But the Bound for Glory and, Extreme Rules were both good in their own ways. Neither of them were perfect. Both were very satisfying for me as a wrestling fan. If you happen to miss my thoughts on Bound for Glory, please go check out Total Nonstop Impact's review of that, where me and let's see who was all on. It started out me and Ash started out, and then Alicia, and then Bill jumped in. So then it really kicked into full gear. So a lot of fun. Hey, Justin Miller, thank you, brother. Here with the super chat saying an afternoon bone show. That's right. Just stopping by to say, hey, much love, fam. Thank you, Justin. Much love, dude. So just a reminder, super chats, super stickers are open. Every little bit helps. Go check out some links in the description for some of the new merch that's in the spread shop for Smash This Podcast. And if anything, check out the links in the description. Give the show a follow. It all helps, and smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Speaking of merch, here's a lovely Smash This Podcast cup, and you can even customize it. Put a few different logos on there. Help support one of your favorite shows. All right. I need to get a TNI one like that. There's a ton of logos on there I want to throw on there. Do a whole panoramic. Anyways. So, yeah, what everyone's talking about is, of course, Bray Wyatt. But I don't want to ignore the rest because yes, Bray Wyatt was the big draw for this, I believe. The place, Philly was sold. Was it Philly? I think it was Philly. Yeah, because it was, they made the big, extreme out of it. Courtney is losing their mind. Bray Wyatt. Yeah. Trust me, everyone lost their mind. But let me go from start to finish, and we'll talk about Bray at the end, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's happening tonight, because tonight should be exciting too. If you like nostalgia and stuff like that, it should be fun. And then depending on what time it is, I might talk about a little bit of just my own, like, kind of like after like the dust has settled, talk a little bit about Bound for Glory thoughts now that it's been a few days. But hey, where do we start? All right, so let's start out at the beginning. It starts out with the Brawling Brutes. This, because I'm still kind of getting used to watching WWE again, so some of these names aren't exactly, flowing off the tongue. But I gotta say, Sheamus's group of guys that he's got together in his, the Shillelagh Massacre group, whatever the Brawling Brutes. Butch, of course, Pete, and Rich Holland. And that's one that I really don't know a lot about. I'm assuming he was more a part of the NXT UK. But these guys fit right in with Sheamus, and Sheamus is a lot of fun. He really is. He is one of the consummate guys that that whoever he's with in the ring, you are going to get some serious. It's what do they say? Oh, it's fight night. You are going to get a fight night out of these guys, him and these guys. But I like all these guys together. It's great. And Imperium is always, I'm looking at the names here. Giovanni, Vinci, and Gunther, and Ludwig, Kaiser. Oh, and the most terrifying thing about the Imperium is when they're kind of huddled together and they're down and they're getting ready to make a comeback, and Gunther is sitting there screaming German. It's like, oh, what did he say? My German's horrible. So it makes him feel even that more authentic of some kind of like outside European heel group. I dig it. So these guys, I've seen them fight a few times now, and man, and it made me really want to see Sheamus get that Intercontinental Championship over the course of the last few weeks. And then the match came on the season premiere of SmackDown from Friday, which I was watching Bound for Glory, but you see clips, you hear things. Unsuccessful. Sheamus was unsuccessful. And Courtney says, yeah, they really did beat the hell out of each other. That's for sure, right? So yeah, but finally, Sheamus's group, the Brawling Brutes, finally got like one up on Imperium. So I don't know if that means that this fight is finally over, even though the title stays with Imperium and Gunther. It really puts over Gunther as one of those. Wow, he really is a dominant force. And the more you put over someone like that, it only makes the importance of said title mean that much more. Because there's times when people have titles and the title kind of, like, okay, I'm watching the show. What else you got? You know? So Gunther really makes that title look like it's something special. Like it's, oh man, who's going to take that title off of him? There's such a force, Gunther and his crew, the Imperium, are such a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, they had bars and barrels set up, and literally cracking shillelaghs over each other. Those rods with the big wooden end on them. Mark's in the chat. Good day, sir. So yeah, great first match. Really got the crowd hyped up. Followed with one that I didn't hear anything positive about it, but I still was like, okay, I'm not going to buy into everything that everyone's saying. I want to watch it for myself, see what it's all about. I really wanted to like this match. I really did. I'm not that much into Ronda. I don't know what it is. It was fun last time when she came in. Don't give a damn about my reputation. The crowd's. She comes out with the skirt, and it's like the tribute to Piper, riding that wave and everything. And I know she's a heel this time, but still, if you're going to be a heel, change up some of your persona. You can still be badass and do whatever, but if you're a heel, change it up. Don't confuse the fans, because it's like, well, who are we supposed to boo you? We liked you last time. We don't like you. We're not supposed to like you now. So I'm not really like, and I'm not saying, J-Bone's confused. Oh my God. No, I'm not that confused. I'm just saying, I would think that, if you are going to change the character a little bit, change up everything, because anyways, okay, Mark throws his 2 cents in here. He says, this match was bad because Ronda needs someone to carry her. I adore Liv, but she's average in the ring, and this match sucked. Yeah, it's, they tried like hell. I'll give them this. They tried like hell over the course of the last month or whatever it's been, handful of weeks, to really make Liv look like like she can do Extreme. And I was sold on that. She went off the top turnbuckle and put, oh God, who was it? Lacey Evans? I think it was Lacey Evans, and put her through the table. She did the swanton, or not swanton, landing on her back through the table. And she even did this to Ronda. And so I bought into Liv, and she's not my favorite by any means, but I was also, and I've said this before, I'm glad they gave her an opportunity to be champ. Anyone that busts their ass and does prove themselves should be given an opportunity to at least go for the championship, if not win it and carry it for a while. So I'm happy Liv got that opportunity, but now it looks like Liv is changing. Ronda, the biggest disappointment of the whole thing is when she's holding the bat and she's tapping her. And I'm literally mean tapping her. She's not, I've seen guys take steel chairs and absolutely destroy each other, or at least it looks like they're destroying each other. When you're swinging a bat and it looks and sounds like you're just tapping each other with it, completely takes you out of it. And it's like, okay, that's not Extreme, you might as well get out a wiffle ball bat or something like that. That was one of the big things. Everything else in the match was like, okay, it wasn't like, it didn't save it or anything. So this match probably was my least favorite of the night, to be honest. But yeah, new champ, Ronda Rousey. We'll see where this goes. Karrion Kross with Scarlett in the strap match against Drew McIntyre. I tell you, this was a lot of fun. Little slow of start because Karrion Kross didn't want to put his hand in the strap, and they ended up fighting all over the place. Finally, McIntyre had him down long enough that he put the strap on his hand, tightened it up, and now he's stuck. Now you can really have the strap match. And these guys, these guys slapped the hell out of each other, but it was kind of slow. It wasn't great, but I was still pretty excited to see this because strap matches are one of my favorite old school. Like you could say like extreme or gimmick matches or whatever. But it was all right. I think the right person won because if you're going to bring back Karrion Kross and put him up against a force like Drew McIntyre, if you don't win against a guy like Drew McIntyre, then why are you back? Drew McIntyre's had his time to shine. Not saying he can't again, but against someone who you're trying to put over as a new force, a new big heel like Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, whatever you want to call him. I'm glad Karrion won. He's still one of my old school favorites. Look, politics and other companies aside, character-wise, still love him. Kind of mysterious, brutal, and I still love him. So, yeah. Mark says Scarlett with the sable callback was cool though. Yeah, that her outfit. Whew, my goodness, not much to it, right? They're gonna do the handprint soon. Watch, you just wait and watch. No. Whew. All right, so Karrion Kross wins. Then we get the ladder match, and I still can't believe that this was the first time that there was a women's ladder match. Like, there's been like extreme stuff. There's been like Hell in a Cell and cage matches and stuff. Never a ladder match. That just once again tells me that Impact Wrestling, no matter how big the company is still leaps and bounds ahead of the rest when it comes to their women, their knockouts. Look at what the women have done just over the course of the last couple of years. What the hell it is? The X division, Ultimate X. Stuff like that. It's just, and what the pick your poison matches from the last few weeks in Impact, just amazing. I still say sign those characters, the Max the Impaler and damn it, I can't remember her name. Alley Catch. Almost called her old name. But yeah, the ladder match was great, and I was a little surprised they went with who they went with because Bayley's big comeback. I kind of here I say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. Never assume that Bayley's going to come back, do all this stuff with the damage control, and then take over the women's division on a certain show again. It didn't happen. So the Raw Women's Championship this time does stay with Bianca Belair, but it was a great ladder match. Both these women kicked ass. They didn't hold up on each other, and that's one thing that I gotta say is, you watch certain brands of wrestling and the women, you can tell the women that really bring it. It's believable when someone is distressed and looking like they're gonna just absolutely get slaughtered in a match. It's like, oh my god. This was one of those matches, and Bianca Belair overcame at one point all of Damage Control. She took yeah, I'm still getting used to some of these names. Dakota Kai and the other gal in there. So somebody fill in the blank. I apologize. Something Sky. Io Sky. Is that it? What it is? She did that that flip over move. Just devastating. And ignore the phone in the background. Hang on a second. All right. So, but yeah, great ladder match. Bayley, yeah, Mark says that Bayley hasn't lost a step. Absolutely. She's Bayley's still great, from whatever injury she came back from. I'm guessing it was something with a leg or a severe tear or whatever. Bayley proved in this match that she still got it. She really does. She just not strong enough, even with her crew, to catch Bianca. Mark says shoulder. Okay. So Courtney says her knee. So hey, maybe both. Who knows? She was gone for over a year, so it could have been 2 or 3 things. Who knows? But nonetheless, great to see her back. But yeah, Bianca Belair gets the win here. And so we'll see what's next for her for the Raw Women's Championship. I feel like they're going to be bringing in more new faces relatively soon to, freshen things up for this new season. Hopefully some more women to really, really get the division going. I mean, I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love this feud between, and they kind of like blew it up between Damage Control versus Bianca Belair, Asuka, and oh God, Alexis. But yeah, so yeah, I'd love to see a few more in there to really shake things up. So, all right, next we got Finn Balor versus Edge, and Edge really, man, they really, I mean, they went all over the place. This one went a little long. Took me out of it a little bit. That's unfortunately what they do with Edge matches. They make them too long. They really went all over the place, made it extreme as possible. Of course, bringing in the rest of Judgment Day. A little surprised. No one. Okay. Mark says, please address Balor's ludicrous match. Yeah. Mask. Excuse me. Jiminy Christmas. The match was decent. The end was dragged out. Overall, it was okay. Yeah, that mask that Finn Balor wore, I'm looking at it, and it's just one of those things you just stare at for a while because they did kind of zoom in on it to really focus on it. And it was like shiny black spikes all over. it almost seemed like a newer version of like a pinhead mask, something extreme like that. And that's obviously what it was going for. It's extreme. It's violence. Like, oh my God, this guy, you don't want to come near this guy because he's got this crazy mask on. So yeah, it was I'm not gonna say it was awesome, but it was definitely different and made you, just kind of sit back like, wow, this I've never seen a mask like that. It almost Mark says Pinhead meets the Gimp. Okay, yeah, that's appropriate. Okay, yeah. Cue the Pulp Fiction music. That's what Bálor should come out to now and just start, boogieing down to the ring and just, oh my God, that would really shake things up, wouldn't it? I would lose my mind. I'd be like, oh God, even more terrifying now that I think about it. But yeah, Gimp and Pinhead, absolutely. Look out for Bálor. God knows what he's going to do next. So they take out. I was okay with Beth getting in there, and then Rhea Ripley going back and forth. That was kind of cool. And Mark says that shit rules ass in the most silly way. Yeah, it was wild, eh? So, but yeah, it was definitely too long, but it was fun, and it kind of made me a fan of Edge again. I don't know what it was. I haven't appreciated the whole start and stop of this now comeback, the Judgment Day stuff, and he's not in Judgment Day. And it's like, all right, what are you guys doing? You guys need to figure this out. But of course, that's going to happen when you are in the middle of something. Vince is gone. Now Trips is back. Now Trips is trying to put his own spin on it and have it make sense still, continue the story and have it flow. It's not easy. It's not easy. I give this crew a lot of credit for doing what they're doing with this and trying to, keep it making sense and whatnot. So who knows where this is going to go? I mean, it almost seems like they kind of like wrote Edge off again, considering what they did with his wife. Or is Edge going to come back now even more crazy than before? Judgment Day standing tall? Are they going to go against another group of guys? Who knows? We got to wait and see. Season premiere. So Mark says, I also still really dislike Corey Graves on commentary. I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you. I really do like him because I hear sometimes when I'm like really paying attention to the commentary, a lot of times I'm not. I'm just watching what's going on. But I hear classic Bobby Heenan and such when I hear Corey Graves. When he gets kind of sarcastic and heelish, I hear that in his content. So, but hey, to each their own. I get it. I totally get it. It sounds like they switched up the announce teams. I don't remember who's supposed to be on tonight because they switched them all around. I know Nigel McGuinness is gone now. My guess is, I don't know what kind of contract, like, are you okay? You can't go anywhere for a while, blah, 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 blah. I'm guessing it might help AEW if they're trying to get this, Ring of Honor TV thing off the ground. I still don't know if they're trying to or not. Nigel McGuinness, obviously a big part of Ring of Honor, could be a part of the OG commentary over there instead of just always having, Jim Ross and Tony Skivone, you know, just throwing a thought out there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Main event time. Daniel Cormier reffing as a special guest ref in the fight pit match with Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. This one was unique. I've never seen a fight pit match before. It really kind of like surprised me with like how it all played out. I didn't know what to expect. So I was looking forward to this as much as I don't know. I used to love Riddle, and now I don't know. Riddle's just kind of, for lack of better words, I'll just say turn me off, and I'm all in on Seth. I'm all in on Seth. I'm rooting for Seth. I love Bobby Lashley. Don't get me wrong, but I'm all in on Seth, and he's become one of my favorite performers now to watch in the ring, outside of the ring, and he needs to be, in my professional podcasting opinion, Seth needs to be in the spotlight again big time. And I think maybe giving him the United States Championship will really help put it. Not that Bobby hasn't. You know, Bobby's been a good champ. He is a force to be reckoned with. But Seth needs to be considered as a top heel again and really take this to another level. And he can, like I said, sometimes it depends on who it is and what they do with the championship to really raise the importance of said championship. And I think Seth, with what he's doing now, he can do that. I love Bobby Lashley, but there's only so much you can do with him in that sense. He is a force to be reckoned with, don't get me wrong. But he I don't know, he needs something. I don't know what. Like his entrance, in my opinion, is not helping him. It's you know, they did the same thing with Bobby Roode. You know, they put him on a pedestal, put a spotlight on him, and I'm here. You know, it's just, you can only do that so many times with so many guys, and then it gets kind of, you gotta do something a little more original. So, but yeah, I did like the fight pit match. I enjoyed it a lot, and I was glad to see the ref Daniel Cormier only get involved so much, and he didn't destroy either of them, but he did use his position to give some influence on the match. You know, when these guys, when Riddle and Seth were like, knee deep and just slugging it out, and then, draw back and accidentally hit Daniel Cormier. He got a little too close, and he's like, hey, that's your one gimme. You do that again, and you're gonna regret it. I'm reffing here, so don't do that again. And they both times, both guys were like, oh, all right. So that was good that they did that. They didn't ignore the importance of who he was and what he was doing there. I don't know if it was that big of a thing, but it did add to the match a little bit. I'm not a big MMA guy, but I know who he is. So, but yeah, good match. Riddle doing his Broton, is that what they called it? Off the top of the cage to the bottom. Oh my God. whatever it was called. Damn, that just was nuts. Broke both guys. I'm going to be shocked if they want to do the thing where, Seth comes down and he's all taped up. But yeah, decent match. Riddle wins. That kind of, like I said, I've been rooting for Seth in this whole thing. I just love what he's doing. And you can only hear so many idiotic things out of Riddle's mouth, and it kind of takes you away from it. But Riddle won, and this, I'm assuming, is going to end the feud unless they continue it into the United States Championship. We'll see. But that remains to be seen. But so Riddle's hand is raised, and the copyright thing at the bottom corner of the screen goes on, and all of a sudden, you start thinking, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the end of the show? And no Bray Wyatt? What the hell's going on? Like, they gave a clue, like, early on, right when the Brawling Brutes were coming to the ring, just getting into the ring, and then they did the rabbit, hopping, boop, 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 video game style, and ground blows up where he dove in. It made me wonder. But then as soon as they hit the back, the lights go out, and then the place went, place lit up like a Christmas tree, all the phone lights out. And then we get the video. Not the video right away. It was that came later, but they did spotlights at all different entrances to the arena around. They did, shot it over here, then they shot it over here, then they shot it in the middle. All the different characters of the Firefly Funhouse alive, and in like human form with masks on. You had the buzzard, you had the bunny, you had the pig, you had the witch, and then you also had the Fiend, which was interesting. It's like, oh, the Fiend's here too. So now what's even more interesting, and I don't hear a lot of people talk about this, and I want to talk about this. When they showed the witch with the veil, the witch with the veil in the one entrance ramp, or entranceway, I should say, if you look next to her, like if you blink, you miss it, but next to her, there's this like white, like table, platform, whatever. And the old women's tag titles are draped over them. What does that mean? Is this witch who may be revealed as a possible character in the Wyatt Six, if they're actually going to call this group the Wyatt Six? Is it possibly a Sasha Banks or a Naomi coming back with the straps like, hey, we still, just saying, because the news came out, they dumped them on Johnny Laryngitis' desk and then left. But if the old belts are coming back, who's under, who is it? Or is there going to be two of them, and it could be Naomi and Sasha Banks? What is happening? What's going on? That is one thing that really stood out, and not a lot of people are talking about. So I just want to throw that out there and be like, hey, what do you think? Do you think it is possible that Bray could bring back Naomi and Sasha Banks, or someone relevant in that same women's division to come back, or come back different, or whatever? Who knows? Mark's popping for Johnny Laryngitis. It's too much fun. You can't pass it up. Aaron Jack, good to see you live here, brother. Randy Sams, we got a couple new faces here. I just want to Jamie Wisner's in here. I haven't seen him in a while. New face, Jacoby Peter. You see my... Okay, I'm going to scroll up here. I'm going to do this, and then I'll get into the whole Bray Wyatt thing. Sup, J-Bone, is it me, or did Bray Wyatt's mask remind me of Black Phone? But I know what you're talking about, the movie, the horror movie, whatever you want to call it, horror, sci-fi, whatever movie, Black Phone, because I hear the legendary design Tom Savini did the mask. Question, J-Bone. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't heard any details on the mask. I know that Bray Wyatt has worked closely with Savini, and he's also worked with another guy who's put stuff online regarding Bray, and it's like John Kavanaugh or something like that, some name, something like that. But he's put out like White Rabbit horror looking stuff at the same time. But yeah, Bray Wyatt has that pull in the industry where he can, get guys to help him with this and do new things. Yeah, it did kind of look like the Black Phone thing. It was kind of hard to see the detail of it, when it's just the lantern and you only see certain lit up sections, and a lot of it's in the shadows, and most of him is in the shadow. When we'll see. I don't want to assume that Bray Wyatt's going to show up tonight. I know a lot of people are going to be watching tonight. Number one, for the nostalgia, and number two, to see if Bray Wyatt and a possible stable show up and shake things up in the company. Of course, Roman and his crew are going to be there. They're going to grace Raw with their presence. But yeah, it looked like a great mask. In fact, I put it in the background here. Or no, I put it in another thing I was working on. My apologies. Not on this cover, is a different one. It's kind of a fallout. I did one for tonight, but I don't know if he's going to be on tonight. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pump the brakes on that one. We'll see what happens. If he's on, I'll keep it. If not, I'll switch things up and just keep it nostalgic. But we'll see. We'll see. We see all the characters, the video plays, or vice versa, whatever happened, which way, I forget. But nonetheless, the views on this, the YouTube video for the WWE videos, that one, and then he comes through the door, both are just blowing up the internet. Oh my God, they have absolutely gone viral. If you don't think Bray Wyatt is important coming back, check out the video numbers. My God. Through the roof. Yeah, Aaron Jack. That's the loudest holy shit chant I have heard in WWE in some time. Yeah, and usually they censor that, or they might censor it for TV. This is a pay-per-view, so we'll see. But no, they didn't censor that at all. They let that go, which was kind of refreshing to see. It's like, whoa, no censorship here. It's definitely pop of the night. Definitely one of the best pops. JB says the Fiend mask was on the announce table. Yeah, there was some mask on the table. It looked, I don't know if it was the Fiend mask. It looked very disturbing because the hair didn't look like, it almost looked more like the burnt mask, when he was on fire. And I'm trying to think of like what the action figure looked like. It was a really gnarly version of it. It looked off. It looked like bloated or dead or something. It didn't look like the original Fiend mask, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'd have to look at it again. But Bray comes out with his lantern. As you can see here in the outline of the video here, everything is, glowing bluish. And the crowd, I want to point this out too. The crowd was so loud that when they zoomed in on Bray, because he's right there in front of the camera, and he gets in close and he's holding the lantern and he says, "I'm here." you probably missed it because you couldn't hear it. You could barely hear it. I was like reading his lips. I'm like, oh, he said it. He said, I'm here. So that's his classic thing. And then, blows it out. Boom. End of it. So Bray Wyatt is back. Great entrance. Great way to bring him back. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to trust, I'm not going to assume, but I'm going to trust Triple H and his crew are going to do Bray Wyatt right, because I feel like in the past they didn't do him. They didn't do it right with Bray, one spear losing to a guy like Goldberg just completely diminishes the importance and, character strength of the Fiend / Bray Wyatt in that situation like that. Just horrible. But I still love Goldberg. Don't get me wrong, but you're gonna have a force to be reckoned with like Bray Wyatt and everything that surrounds him, his aura, his history, and everything that he stands for, that he's been through, that he's brought to the table in story and character and everything. And you can't just stomp him out with one stomp or one spear or one punch or whatever. It's not good storytelling, Make it cinematic. Make it worth something. Make Goldberg fight for it. Do something, So, no, I don't think Billy Gunn, Aaron Jack says, you think Billy Gunn's going to be on Raw tonight? I don't think he is. They didn't put him on the thing. I mean, if he does show up, it's great. If not, it's understandable because he is an AEW guy. I love Billy Gunn. I love what he's doing now. He's in tremendous shape. He's in the best shape of everyone. He really is. I'm not saying he's like the best wrestler, but for what he's doing for your money and watching a veteran like him in the ring on occasion, I love it. I love it, So do I want to see him with everyone for a special night like this? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? No. I don't think it's going to. Listening to X-Pac on the Busted Open Radio. By the way, I want to talk about Busted Open Radio just for a moment. I hadn't listened to it in a long time. I kind of got away from it just because and I'm not one of those like guys that's going to live or die, whether you talk about Impact Wrestling or not. But I know for a fact that they were going to talk about Bound for Glory because Bully Ray is, I've read, is going to be a regular on the show now for a while. I don't know how long, but and I understand the fan backlash. I get it. I know that some people are upset about it because you got a guy that has been gone from, TNA Impact Wrestling for 10 years or 10-ish, give or take a little. And you put him in a pretty powerful position, getting, cashing in his call your shot thing with Josh Alexander. And I've been waiting for this for a while. I get hot and cold on it, and I know a lot of people are not digging it, but I've always loved the Dudleys. And I really did like what Bully Ray did before in TNA, classic Impact Wrestling. And I want to point something out. Bully Ray has lost a significant amount of weight. And I love his hardcore shirt, that he always wears down to the ring with the big skull and the big lettering and everything. But and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound like I'm insulting him, but it's not. I'm actually paying him a compliment. It's too big on him. It's too big on him. He needs to have another one or have it tucked in a little bit. Bully's lost a significant amount of weight. He's not as fat as he used to be, and he's in great shape. I don't know how well he's going to be able to go in the ring, but he still is a hardcore legend, and I'm going to appreciate what they do with him. Do I want to see him as champ? I'm not going to make that decision right now. I'm going to see what they do with him. Okay. I've heard a few things that they've got you hear about, okay, so-and-so is going to fight so-and-so. He's going to team up with Tommy Dreamer against two guys in the Bullet Club. And I have seen people just absolutely lose their ever-loving minds about this because they're like, oh, well, they're in New York. Of course, Tommy and Bully are going to go over and they're going to bury, here's a word, bury again. They're going to bury Chris Bay and Ace Austin. Go look at Ace Austin's social media on Twitter when you have time. Go look at it. And he's, Ace Austin has a great sense of the business in the statement on here. He talks about patience. What do I always talk about here on the podcast and over on TNI? Patience. And I know that's hard. Everyone's passion for this company or this group of wrestlers or this individual or this woman with a championship, it's all different, but it's all subjective. Don't lose your mind over it is all I'm saying. Don't be like, oh, the company's done. Bully's on top. Fuck me. No, just give it time. See where it's going. Okay? Ace Austin. If the guy that's in this match and you're assuming what's going to happen, and if he's going on social media like, hey, just pump the brakes, have some patience, okay? Let's see what happens. And yes, and I'm not going to get into these people are leaving and the company is completely screwed and I don't know what we're going to do and how am I going to sleep at night? Oh my God, do I have my underwear on right? Come on, just I get people are upset. That's fine. But just remember, it's wrestling, okay? Just remember it's wrestling. We go to it to get away from everything, so let's appreciate it for what it is. I'm not saying you have to love everything, but let's just see where it's going. Don't lose your mind over it. That's all I'm saying. I guess I've just watched enough wrestling where it's like something happens. It's like, that's kind of a bummer. Let's see what's next. I don't get that upset anymore. I don't jump out of my seat. I don't fall on the floor and poop myself. Don't be one of those fans. It's just kick back, take a deep breath. It's wrestling. But yeah, back to Extreme Rules. I love. I dug the show. It was fun. It was they made each match feel special, even whether you loved it or not. But yeah, I loved Bray Wyatt's comeback. I don't know if he's going to be on Raw tonight. We're going to have to wait to see if they're going to say, nope, we're going to put him over here on SmackDown. I don't know where he's going to show up. I don't want to assume anything, but I'm ready and I'm excited. I will definitely watch tonight. And I'll probably do a review of it and see what happens. So I'll be watching, like I said, I'm going to be eagerly watching, but not losing my mind. It'll be fun. DX, I appreciate DX. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Also interesting to see, Trips out there. After everything he's been through medically, and now he's kind of become a character again. I'm assuming he's not going to go through a table or anything. That wouldn't be good for him. But obviously there has to be some kind of confrontation. It can't be just DX going out there and dancing around the ring. We're DX. Tuck it. They're going to be doing something. We'll see what happens. So, but yeah, I'll see you guys later tonight. I'm excited for it. And we'll see what happens. But on your way out, don't forget to Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of my content hits your screen. Check out all the links in the description of the video. Give the show a follow on social media. Check out the merch, and we'll see you later tonight. Take care. Thanks for tuning in today.